Hello there, everybody. Hello. Thank you all for coming out today. My name is Tommy. This is the End Hate, Don't Discriminate rally. Actually a graduate from Tennessee High. I also went to Northeast State, had the associates in education. So even though I'm not originally from the area, I definitely have ties that lead me to be a part of Bristol. And really with all these changes that are going on, I just thought this would be a great way for people to learn how to make their voices heard and just know that there are other people out there that feel what you're feeling and that share your sentiment. So we've gathered here today really to kind of learn what we can do to make our voices heard and work together to make a positive future tomorrow. So we do have a few speakers that are going to be coming up here. Our first speaker is actually Dustin. He is with the Russell County Democratic Party. He has been involved with them for many years. He's also a member of the 9th District Democratic Committee and a member of the Equality Virginia Board of Directors. So let's go ahead and give him a warm welcome.
Let's give a round of applause for Tommy for organizing an amazing day. I'm Dustin Keith. During the day, I work in mental health and in prevention, trying to prevent things like substance abuse, addiction, and suicide. But also I work in politics. I'm the chair of the Russell County Democrats and serve on the 9th District Committee, the Central Committee of the Democratic Party of Virginia. I'm also, I have some Democrats in the house tonight. I'm also a member of the board for Equality Virginia, and I'm a proud gay man. I asked Tom exactly what it was that I should be speaking about today, and I heard that we needed to see if we can find some hope right now and how to come together. So first, who remembers where they were on election night in 2016? Who remembers what they were feeling the next day when we woke up and we realized that this man named Donald Trump was elevated to the highest office in the land? From that day, hate has been injected into every part of our society, and people have been emboldened by it to act out against their friends, their family, their neighbors, and their countrymen. I had those same feelings just last November when again hate was elevated to the highest office in the land. I remember being in an Airbnb in Roanoke, Virginia, hugging and holding my friends as we once again realized what we would be enduring for the next 4 years. Ever since then, it's been hard. Who here has struggled with getting out of bed and finding the hope to go on? It's been so tempting to give up, give in. We feel powerless, we feel hopeless. Sometimes it's tempting to want to isolate, to cut off, detach from the world, slide into depression. I wanted to do that same thing this past year. But we must not allow ourselves to submit to those feelings. So I want to encourage everyone here today to let your love of community and your righteous anger fuel your fight for social justice and unified resistance in the months ahead. First, remember the love that you carry with your friends and your community. Think of the love that was shared right here in this park last year with the 13,000 people that was assembled for Tri-Pride. Who was here for Tri-Pride? Think of the love of community and the outpouring of support that we had for our friends and neighbors in the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, other natural disasters. Just a few weeks ago, we had massive flooding and devastation over in Russell County, Tazewell, Dickinson, previously Washington County in the town of Damascus. I have never been so proud of the people in the community that came together to wrap their arms around those who had lost everything. We found a way to move forward through the love of our community and our love for one another. Now let's think about the anger that we have felt over the past few years. Fueled by hate, injustice, cruelty, and violence in the world. Remember the anger that you felt when the officer's boot was on the neck of George Floyd that killed him. Remember Breonna Taylor, who was killed in her sleep in her own apartment. Remember the World Central Kitchen trucks and the humanitarian aid workers delivering food to the Palestinians and then being hit by the Israeli army with American-made bombs. Remember the kids that were being kept in cages at the detention centers at the border after being ripped from the arms of their parents. Remember the 49 who died in the Orlando Pulse nightclub shooting, which was the deadliest incident of violence against LGBT people in the history of the United States. Allow both the love and the anger to fill you up. Allow them to motivate you to come together with groups like the Concerned Bristolians or Take Action Southwest Virginia. It is now time to raise up, speak out, organize protests, rallies like this one. Go to your congressional representatives' offices. From within the love and anger, we must find the hope in one another to resist, to fight, and to defy, but always in love and without violence. And we must never obey in advance. We stand on the shoulders of too many to do nothing in this moment. We stand on the shoulders of our Appalachian ancestors, our mamas and our papas, miners, farmers, factory workers, seamstresses, folks who would never bend the knee or bow to the rich men and the corporations that have exploited us for far too long. We stand on the shoulders of civil rights leaders, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, John Lewis, suffragettes like Carrie Chapman Catt, Sojourner Truth, Ida B. Wells, and on the shoulders of the queer rights activists like Harvey Milk and Marsha P. Johnson, and so many more who have fought and died for the simple plea of equality. Let us carry their lessons and their legacy forward. We can be proud of what we have fought for and achieved throughout our region, and that we are here today, and we can find solace in the strong community of our like-minded friends that we have created in Southwest Virginia and Northeast Tennessee. Our remaining hope can only be found in our love for one another, in those who see the unique humanity and value in each person, and who seek to leave this world more free, more peaceful, and more loving than when they entered it. For what's ahead, we must take it one day at a time, and we must do it together. Thank you all so much for being here, and thank you to Tommy, and let's fight.
Let's give Dustin a round of applause, everybody. Our next speaker, Kate Craig, she is a former candidate for Tennessee State District 3 and is also the owner of Harvesting Democracy. So Kate Craig, we'll have you speak next for us.
Give Tommy and Dustin another round of applause. And give yourselves a round of applause for showing up today. Well, I'll try and be louder. I don't project well. That's why there's hopefully a PA system that helps. But if you're having trouble hearing, I encourage you to please move forward. But my name is Kate Craig, and it's been a moment since I held a mic. But I appreciate this opportunity to talk with you all today. I was asked to talk about kind of the what next, what to do, and all of that. But I wanted to start with Dustin talked about how did you feel after 2016? I'm going to ask how you felt after 2024. Did you feel afraid? Yes. My wife and I did too. We felt enormously, we felt immensely afraid. And we looked at where can we be safe, what's going on, how can we protect ourselves, and all of that. And then as the days go on, and those who don't know me might not know that I am immersed in books constantly. And I've been reading for the past several years books that have to do with civil rights and people that have been leaders in our community and throughout history. And so I wanted to read some names of people that, and this is not a finite list, and some of these names you just heard, but people that showed up despite the fear, despite the attacks on their lives, despite the attacks that were going on to their community, the current threats, they continued to show up. So that's Martin Luther King Jr., Ruby Bridges, Angela Davis, John Lewis, Rosa Parks, Marsha P. Johnson, Harvey Milk, Edith Windsor, Laverne Cox, Charlotte Clemmer, Alice Paul, Susan B. Anthony. These are all people that continue to show up, despite the fear, despite the attacks that were going on. And I'm going to be real frank, these are the people that continue to inspire me, that made me want to show up here and stand up on a stage where there was a moment that when Tommy reached out to me, I went, is this safe? I haven't stood up on a stage for a while, and I don't know if any of the other speakers had that same thought of, is this safe? Will we be safe coming here? And I don't mean in Appalachia, I mean in the U.S. So in that also of liking books, I want to read a quote from Lord of the Rings. And so you have Frodo saying to Gandalf, I wish it need not have happened in my time. And Gandalf responds, so do I, and so do all who live to see such times. But that is not for them to decide. All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given to us. And this is the time that is given to us. We do have to show up. We do have to organize. But I want to also encourage that we aren't just doing it on social media, that we aren't just attacking each other. I want to talk about the importance of community and relationships. So I want to tell a couple of short stories that I used to work for. I was a Navy contractor up in D.C. And one of my coworkers, Wayne, came to me after Maryland in 2012 voted to pass same-sex marriage. And he came to my office and he said, you know what? I voted for this because I got to know you. Because I got to know you and it made a difference in how I see the world. I voted in favor of this because of you. I'll also share that my wife and I, a lot of us here are surrounded by Trump neighbors. We have across the street neighbors that have put up their Trump signs and all of that. These are the first people to show up, that when we need something to help, these are the first people that if we need somebody to help walk our dog, the first people to show up. These people also, this couple signed my petition in 2022 to run for office as a Democrat. Relationships matter. And the more that we reach out to the people and build trust with people that are around us in our spheres of influence, that matters. For a little over 4 years, I was chair of the Washington County Democratic Party, and I'll be real honest, I didn't know what I'd gotten myself into, because it was also right after Trump was elected. And I didn't know how I was going to move the party forward in the same way because I was scared at that point. And one of the things I started doing is I would go sit at bars either waiting for my to-go order or having a beer or something and make conversation with who was beside me. And what I found was that we're all mad about the same things. Our solutions might be different, but we're all mad about the same things. So we need to be reaching out and talking to people. I think that we get lost in the social media anger and the vitriol that happens. And there is a place for social media, but please don't let that be a place for your relationship building and for your organizing. Please let those relationships be things that you form in person. Another one of the books that I highly recommend folks read is called Calling In by Loretta Ross. And in it, she talks about the 5 C's that you call on, call out, cancel, call it off, or you call in. And this is just my personal observation, but I think we, as Democrats and we as left-leaning, we tend to use call out as our only tool in the toolbox. And I want to encourage that we find those 5 C's and find opportunities to call in where we can. And even if it's not you who can do it, I bet that there are people in your circle that can. Because not everything is a call out. We have opportunities to bring people together. Recently, I made a video about talking about the importance of welcoming people who were once Trump voters who are now regretting their vote into the movement. We need everyone joining us in this movement. Just because they might have voted for Trump doesn't mean that they can't be aligned in the goal and opposing what's going on. Doesn't mean that you don't have to invite them to dinner. You can build a relationship. I mean, if the relationship goes that way, great. But know that just because everybody's in the movement doesn't mean that they have to be your best friend. So please, if you see somebody that is, or you know somebody that has changed their mind, or you see other people calling other people out who have changed their mind, please remind them that we all need to be in this together. You know, Dustin said something that I thought was really important. I think this goes to that, this unified resistance. We have to be unified, and we can't be unified unless we're not welcoming people into that goal. We're really bad about eating our own and eating those who may change their mind or have done something wrong once or something. We need to be unified. So I really hope that you'll continue to show up to town halls. I believe you're going to hear more about some upcoming events. Please live stream them. A lot of times they're not welcoming media in, so live stream them, have ways to get the word out, bring people with you, talk about them, of what's going on, talk about what's happening at your work, talk about it with your neighbor, talk about with everybody that you see of what's going on. Show up. You don't have to be there for everything, but pick where you can spend your energy, because if we are a movement, then we are enough to be at everything collectively. Individually, you don't have to do everything. Make sure you coordinate. There are organizations that are here. I know Sullivan County Democratic Party is in the back, and I apologize if I'm missing other organizations that are here. But if you're in Northeast Tennessee, if you're in Tennessee, all of the Democratic parties are reorganizing right now. Get involved. If your county party is already reorganized, I'm 100% sure they're looking for volunteers. Get involved with Indivisible, your League of Women Voters. If you're in Northeast Tennessee, the Black-White Dialogue Group. Get involved. I bet your church has organizations that they'll do outreach to register voters. Get involved in whatever way that looks like. And if you don't hear what you're wanting to hear from your leaders, you say it. Your voice is powerful. So I encourage you to step up, run for office. I get that it's scary. I've done it. I promise you it's worth it. So the last thing I'm going to say is that I was a Girl Scout, and I had this notion, this value that I'm going to leave this world a little better than I found it. So I hope that we all work together to do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Kate, so much. This is great. We're going to go ahead and we're going to hear from Kevin Jenkins next. He's actually running for the Tennessee Federal District 1. He's a former candidate, and he will be running in the next midterm as well. Let's give it up for Kevin.
All right. Wow, this thing really isn't very low. But All right. Well, first off, how's everybody's doing? Or how's everybody's day going so far? Great, great. I'm glad you all made it out here. I know since the election it's been rather hectic to say the least. Uh, that's probably a better word than what I was thinking. Yeah. But everything has just been very frightening. When Tommy came to me and he asked me to do this event, honestly, I was just stuck trying to think of what I should write for this speech. There's so much to go over. There's so much to talk about. But ultimately, I decided I'm going to give you guys some anecdotes and then tell you about where we're going to go from here. So, a couple days ago, or I guess about last week, I was talking to my mom. She was an Air Force veteran, 18 years. So, we were talking about when I was a kid. She would show me photos, videos of marketing advertisement that the Air Force had gotten of her. She would load bombs on the planes. There was one really cool photo where she was training with the EOD guys. There was a giant explosion in the background. It just looked amazing. I was in. And she was telling me how all of those photos are now being removed from the military records recently because they are purging content that could be related to DEI in any way, shape, or form. It is a small thing to some people, as I've been told. But it's a reminder of how we're all being erased. You know, not just from the records, but kind of as a collective memory from history of a way. Yes. They're trying to pretend that these people and their contributions never existed. I've also had friends of mine in the LGBTQ plus community. They've all come up to me. They've all told me that they're scared. They don't know what to do. Honestly, I can't blame them. With Trump passing executive orders, about gender ideology or keeping transgender people out of women's sports. Can you hear me now? Sweet. Well, welcome back, guys. But even in Texas, they just tried to put a bill up that could criminalize identifying as transgender on official documents, labeling it as gender identity fraud. At this point, it's not just policy. This is just them attacking people's identities, their dignity, and their rights to even exist. Which leads me to my third thing that I wanted to talk about. Recently, one of my friends up in South Dakota, that's where I lived before I came here, she had told me that her sister was actually detained by ICE last month. Very ironic, seeing how they are both Native American. But she was taken all the way to Texas to the detainment centers, where she had to spend about 2 days just arguing with them before they finally let her go. However, they didn't give her a flight or anything back to South Dakota. They actually just, left her there. So my friend had to drive all the way to Texas, pick her up, and then bring her back home. Oh my goodness. Talking about this is getting me a little worked up inside. But, while that story had a happy ending, unfortunately it's not the case for everybody. As I looked it up, I believe ICE has said that they've deported or arrested over 32,000 people so far. So, what is this really all about, guys? This is just them upending lives, destroying families, destroying livelihoods. And for what reason? Just to stoke fear and to divide us. This is all, honestly, just the beginning. We're only 2 months into four long years. But we could talk about all this blatant corruption, the cuts to Medicare, Medicaid. We could talk about how the current administration is just dismantling the very systems that were designed to protect and uplift us all. Now, honestly, it's just really overwhelming, so I'm not going to do that to you guys. because I feel exhausted. I really do. However, that seems to kind of be the point of the current administration. They want to tear us down. They want us to be exhausted. It seems like they all want us to just give in and give up, which is exactly why I'm here to tell you guys what we should do instead. So, you know, I've been asked by many people, what should I do? How should I go about this? Should I just argue on Facebook? Should I make YouTube videos? Should I go out and protest? And I've been thinking about the answer for quite a while. But I think I kind of pieced it together enough to give you guys some sort of answer. First, I do believe we need to document everything. One thing I have noticed is that the tracks are being erased as they make their moves. They lay down one law, lay down three more, and then act as if the first thing had never existed. All this is keeping our minds distracted, but we need to keep track of all the harm that is being done, the lies, the policy changes, all the damage. For example, when politicians like Mike Johnson or Diana Harshbarger claim that Medicare won't be affected by budget cuts, we need to hold them accountable, okay? Amen. Amen. Write it down, guys. You know, like we need to share it. We need to make sure that the truth is preserved, not just for us, but for these future generations. Because history isn't just going to judge us by what we go through right now, but by how we react to it, how we move forward from this. Next, I do believe that we need to inform other people. However, as we saw during the last election, our old tactic wasn't necessarily working. So I think another way that we need to do it, my personal experience, is kind of meet people at their own personal level. You know, if they care about, let's say, the First Amendment, you know, something that's being heavily attacked right now, you could remind them how the administration has sued media companies, you know, they're detaining peaceful protesters, how Trump is bullying law firms that have taken clients that are going against him in court, and then relate it back to them. When you guys talk about, you know, how alienating our allies is going to cost us billions of dollars inside of revenue every year for the United States, you have to bring it back to how the money is being taken from our country and how that's going to then lessen their pockets in the long run. One thing I realized is that the people need it to relate back to them. You can't necessarily make it a red versus blue issue.
Right.
It needs to be, what can we do to make our lives better? How is this going to benefit everybody, including them? Otherwise, you might just be met with radio silence. We need to make it personal. We need to make it real for these people, because this isn't, you know, left versus right, red versus blue. At this point, this is just right versus wrong. Then, I believe we all need to come together and vote. So, we need to not just remove those in power right now that aren't representing us, but we need to replace them with people that are willing to actually be the voices of the average citizen, okay? We need leaders who will fight for justice, equality, and the futures that we all honestly deserve. Compromising with all this extremism, it's not gonna work at this point, guys. We need leaders who are bold, who are loud, who are unafraid to stand with their communities. Honestly, Bernie Sanders, Jasmine Crockett, you know? Yeah, exactly. And let's be clear, this isn't just about getting to the next election, all right? This is about building a new movement. It's about showing up, not just at the polls, but in our own individual neighborhoods, in our schools, in our workplaces. In the end, it's all about standing up for each other, even when it's hard. Honestly, especially when it's hard, like right now. Finally, I really just wanted to say that I honestly believe in all of you. And I don't know you all, but I love you all just the same. And I would highly encourage all of you guys to get out there and run for offices. You know, even if it's just on a smaller level, whether it's just in your town or your county, whether you're just helping out inside of your parties, events, or activities, volunteering, it all does make a difference. We need to organize, we need to speak out, and we need to use our voices. Because change isn't going to happen unless we make it happen. And if there's one thing that we all know here, is that when we fight, we win. Exactly. This is our movement, guys. This is our chance to stand up for what's right, to protect each other, and to build a future that reflects the best of who we are. It won't be easy. There will be days when it feels like the weight of the world is just coming down on your shoulders. But stay strong. I honestly believe we're all stronger than we really think. And as you can see here today, none of you guys are all alone. Let's save our country. Let's save it for each other, for our children, and for our future generations. Thank you, guys.
Let's give Kevin a round of applause, everyone. Remember to vote the next midterm. Our next speaker is actually the former mayor of Bristol, Virginia, and current city councilman, Neal Osborne.
Hello, everybody. How we doing? All right, I just want to make sure if you can hear me, wave at me. All right, hi in the back. All right, well, first off, I know I'm toward the end of the agenda, but welcome to the city of Bristol, Virginia. Welcome to Cumberland Square Park. First, let's give a round of applause to Tommy for putting on this event. I believe this is the first event he's ever organized. And for the first time, this is a hell of a turnout. So one more comment. And also, I want to thank Dustin and Katie and Kevin for their important words. And I want to thank all of you all for being here. And I want to thank our police for providing extra security for this. So thank you all. Folks, I'm here because I made a pledge in 2018 when I was elected to office. I promised that I would fight every single day for every single citizen in the city of Bristol, Virginia. And that extends, I will fight for everyone in the Mountain Empire, whether you're in Bristol, whether you're in Abingdon, whether you're down in Tennessee, I'm going to fight for you. Because I think you all deserve that. And I think that right now, a lot of people are under attack from the federal government. I'm very proud of what we do in the city specifically. We have a policy that we will hire anyone, regardless of race, gender, sexual identity, sexual orientation, religious belief, anything. We'll hire anyone, and we'll be happy to have them as employees of the city. I want you to look around at everyone that is beside you right now. All of you are residents of our community, and so many people in our community are under attack right now. Every single one of you and everyone who's not here deserves the same respect and not discrimination. They deserve support and not persecution. But unfortunately, marginalized groups of people are facing attacks from all angles at this point. Some people would have you believe that diversity, equity, and inclusion are dirty words. Are they? Diversity is the very foundation of America. Equity is giving everyone a fair shot at the same type of opportunity for the next guy. Inclusion is giving a seat at the table to everyone, and it makes us all so much stronger as a country. All of those principles are American principles that we have to defend and fight for while they're under attack. And it's not, at this point, just marginalized groups of people who are under attack. The Republican budget resolution that's going through Congress is attacking people who receive assistance. Everything from Medicaid and Medicare, all the way to VA benefits. One more time. Thank you. You know, I'm almost 40 years old, and I never thought there'd be a time in our country when we're talking about cutting these many billions of dollars from medical assistance for senior citizens, medical assistance for veterans who put their lives on the line to protect us. And now we're not going to pay them back with health care that they deserve?
It's wrong. Totally wrong.
Go ahead. You know, on that, your members of Congress, in Tennessee, Diana Harshbarger, and in Virginia, Morgan Griffith. Thank you. You know, Congresswoman Harshbarger did a town hall recently, and I don't think it worked out the way she wanted it to. Yeah. I didn't either. You know, Congressman Griffith is too scared to even do a town hall. And he won't do a town hall because he knows he cannot defend the detrimental consequences that are coming for the residents of the 9th Congressional District. He knows he can't defend it. Congresswoman Harshbarger knows she can't defend it, but she somehow showed up anyway. But they're not going to show up. We are allowing our government and these cuts to be run by a guy that I wouldn't trust to run a cycle on my washing machine. By unelected non-government employee. Go ahead. You know, that's the state of where we are right now. Nothing's good. Everything seems bad. But what does this mean for all of you and for all of us? It means, one, you register to vote. It means, two, you show up to vote. Showing up to vote, being a voter is the most powerful office in the United States. And don't let anyone take it from you. Don't let anyone impede on your right to show up and vote, because that is how change starts. As an example, I'm going to take a hit at Congressman Griffith again because I'm in Virginia. I haven't seen the numbers for 2024, but I know in 2022, Congressman Griffith won by 120,000 votes. But 230,000 registered voters didn't even show up to vote. What kind of change could we have affected in 2022, or in 2024, or in 2026 if those people show up to vote? We can send a representative to Washington, not only from the 9th District of Virginia, but from the 1st District of Tennessee. We can send those representatives that will actually stand up for real people, for working people, for the rights of everyone, and everyone will have a more fair and equal shot. Say it again. So I want you to go and register yourself and register all of your friends and family. Go to the registrar in the town you live in. In Bristol, we are 1 block from here, and it's very convenient. They're very friendly, so please, if you're here, that's where you go, or find the place in your hometown, and you show up to vote. In Virginia, we have a primary on June the 17th, and if we turn out in big numbers in the 9th Congressional District, it will show the rest of the state and the rest of the country that we're serious about change, we're mad as hell, and we're going to do something about it. So in closing, I want to leave you with this thought. Like I said, I know things are scary. I know things are anxiety inducing. I will never experience the pain that people have experienced being discriminated against because of the color of their skin. I will never be targeted for who I love. But that doesn't mean that I won't stand beside you, and I won't fight for you, and I won't fight with you until the very end, until we have secured equal rights and equitable treatment for every single person in our country and in our state. And I think we're going to win that, and I'll tell you why. Because hate is very loud, but hate is very small. Love is so much bigger. Love is so much bigger, and love will win every single time. Thank you all very much.
Let's give Neal a round of applause, everybody. Our next speaker is Herman Garcia. He's with the Washington County Group of East Tennessee. Let's give him a round of applause.
Washington County Brady Group of East Tennessee. Do I need this? Can you hear me?
Do both? All right, I'll do both. I'm an ex-DJ, so I used to have a mic in front of me all the time, so I used to be able to speak to people. But anyway, what the group that I'm associated with, we're all about the Second Amendment, protecting Second Amendment, but protecting it by having sensible gun policies. That means that we want to make sure that our children go to school safely, that people that have ideas about suicide have other ways of communicating with people so that they don't commit suicide. And guess what? This administration has done away with the hotline for suicide assistance. They did away with the veteran VA suicide assistance. They have done away with so much that we need to stand up and make sure that our voice is heard. Now, one of the things that people say, okay, well, what are we going to do to protect our Constitution? If you read your Constitution, right from the very beginning, it says, we the people. We the people, right there, right at the very front. Article 1 says that the power of the purse shall be handed over to the Senate and the House, and not to anybody else. Guess what? What Musk is doing right now is violating the Constitution of the United States. We need to continue to call our congressional leaders to say that Elon Musk is in violation of our Constitution. We need to let them know that everything that he has done is in violation of the principles that were founded of this country. Now, how many people swore an oath to the Constitution? I've done it twice. The first time when I joined the Army. It happened to be on the 4th of July. I put up my arm, swore an oath to the Constitution. The second time I swore an oath, I had a job in the government. And I swore an oath to that to protect and defend against all foreign enemies, domestic and foreign. And the problem today is that our enemies are not just foreign, they are domestic. And that is what we need to emphasize. We need to call our congressmen every single week, our political leaders. And if they are not doing anything to change, then they are part of that violence against the Constitution. They are the people that are most hurting the principles that we are supposed to be showing our children. And unfortunately, it's not that simple, because unfortunately, if you guys know, we have a person that used to be on Fox News that is now leading our Defense Department, and he's putting in laws to say that, hey, if you are a general that is not in line with the principles of Trump, then we don't need you. So how are we going to have leadership in our military to protect us if we have somebody that is not showing the proper respect to our leadership? The Constitution is our #1 guide. Our Constitution is our #1 principle. And that means that our police officers, they should be obeying the laws set forth by our Constitution. If they have somebody telling them to go and arrest somebody, like they just did in New York, they should say, you know what, I don't think I should, because that is in violation of the principle that I stood for. Police officers should, by all means, say, hey, I am swear an oath to the Constitution, and if you are trying to violate that oath, then I do not have a right to violate my oath to the Constitution. That is just a sound principle. And that was actually brought up in the trial at Nuremberg. I don't know if anybody knows history, but if you know about the trial of Nuremberg, it basically said that German soldiers should have violated their laws. They should have violated the orders given by Hitler to try to incarcerate the people that they did in Auschwitz and so on. Right now, they are trying to do the same thing with immigrants here in the United States. People that actually have green cards, people that actually are American citizens that are being arrested, and the people that are detaining them, they're not reading their rights as American citizens. They are simply following orders. They are cowards because they are in violation of the Constitution. They should be following the laws of this land. And so we need to remind them, follow the Constitution, follow the principles that they swore an oath to. People that are American citizens should not be incarcerated. Another thing too, you say, oh, well, what can we do to fight? Guess what? The power of the money is how we fight back. Right now, I don't know if everybody knows this, but there is a boycott of Amazon for the rest of this month. Do not buy anything just boycott Amazon. If we can show them that the power of our money is there, maybe companies like Walmart, Amazon, McDonald's, Target, if we can show them that our money does have value, they might decide to change some of their principles. They might actually start to change and revert back to principles of accepting DEI hires and accepting principles of the people of the community. That is in the Constitution. So please, you do have power, the power of your pocketbook. Make sure that you are aware. Just unite. And one of the things with all these tariffs that Orange Cloud is putting out, the thing that is hurting, is going to hurt, is our small business. It's going to hurt, guess what, right there, Waltrip, they're going to hurt their business because they have to put their beer in aluminum cans. And a lot of that aluminum comes from Canada. And if that tariff goes up 25% or 50% or whatever Orange Cloud wants to make it, they're going to have to pay more. And eventually, you will have to pay more. But guess what? It all goes down here, but we need to support our small business no matter what. we need to make sure that our small business does not suffer. We cannot allow our small businesses to go under simply because we have somebody that wants to put the money in the hands of Elon Musk or Zuckerberg or whoever hell it is that's we need to make sure that all these oligarchs, that they see that the power of our purse goes to the small businessmen. So please support them. Small Business Saturday, today's Saturday. Support your small businesses. Don't go shopping Walmart again. Don't shop Amazon. We have a boycott for the whole month of March. Remember that. At the end of March, we'll see what happens with these boycotts. And maybe we can see the CEOs start to change their minds about where our money is going. But please, remember, the Constitution is the most important thing, the principle that guides us. Remember the principles that are laid out on the foundation that we, the people are what matter, and we, the people, united, is what's going to help us guide us through these next 4 years. All right? Virginia, you have elections this year. You have elections this year. Show the rest of the country that we can make a difference. Make sure we get rid of the idiots that are just simply putting the rubber stamp to powers from D.C. Change the leadership in Virginia. Make sure we have somebody that is legitimate of the people, that is legitimate and supportive of our Constitution. And again, if somebody else wants to run that even if they are Republican, but they have a principle, because there are still some people that are Republicans that have principles, make sure that you voice them and let them know that you will support them as long as they resist. But if they do not want to change, then we need to make that change in the ballot box. We need to make sure that we are represented and we make sure that we are united. So please, again, boycott Amazon, Target, Walmart, McDonald's. Make sure you have the power of the purse. Call your representatives. Every week, call them. Every day if you have to, if you have the time. I know I try to call them at least once a week. But please, make a difference. All of you, thank you guys for coming out.
Our next speaker here is Jackie Neflin. She's pastor of the Household of Faith Community Church for 39 years. Carry someone at exit 5, and has been a civil rights advocate for over 42 years. Let's give her a round of applause.
Hello, everybody. I don't have to worry about whether or not you can hear me. It's a good day out here to be here for a good cause and a purpose. Let's give this young man a hand praise for what he's done. The courage that is taken for somebody to step up and step in the leadership role. It doesn't take a whole lot to bring people together that have the same mind and the same goal, and that's to bring about a change in these United States. We the people are for the rich. Some of y'all must be rich. You was kind of hesitant. We the people are those that live in mansions. We the people are those that don't have to work. We the people are for the guy that's sitting up there in the White House. We the people means all of us. Inclusion means all of us. And it doesn't matter who we are, how big we are, how small we are, how cute we think we are. Come on. How black we are, how white we are, how different we are. We the people mean all of us. And that's what we're fighting for today. I'm not going to be with you long. I want you to look at my cheerleaders over here. Love, not hate. And I'm going to tell you, I know we got the biggest bully in the world sitting in the White House. And these girls have been through issues and situations where they've been bullied. I wasn't one to be bullied when I was in school. Does that surprise anybody? I was more of a defender. I'd step up for the ones that were too weak to fight for themselves or speak for themselves. I had to clock some heads every now and then. And even today, you feel like fighting back. You feel like striking some kind of way. But it doesn't affect anyone, any of us, until it starts hitting our pockets, our morals, what we believe. If we stick together as a unified body, that's what the problem is, you know. Some have one issue. Some fight just black. Some fight just LGBTQ. Some fight just whatever. Huh? But if we fight for the whole thing, the whole Constitution, if we fight for all of us and we stand together, we'll get more people with us than against us. You know, he's going to talk his own self out of there because he forget what lie he told before he told it. And his own is going to realize this is no man to fear. God is the only one that we should be fearing today. He is. And anyone that tries to take his spot, his place, only lasts for just a little while. If you don't believe me, dig deep enough and ask Satan. Huh? You get eliminated. When we come together and fight as a people, as a whole, under the umbrella of loving each other, that's when change is going to come. I mean, you can hear all the talk all day long, but I'm here to tell you this one way that change is going to come. And that is when you look to your left and you look to your right and you have the audacity to sneer your nose up or to scoot over and not be too close to, we're not a unified body. But when we can look to our left and look to our right and say, that's my sister, that's my brother, and we want justice, we want change, that will catch on like a ball of fire. And people will follow you. They will follow you when they see that you don't act like them. We're together under the umbrella of love. That's the message I came to bring you today. Love, not hate. And we the people means some of the people. The rich folks. Huh? All of us. It means all of us. So love one another. Take care of one another. Spread this word and make this happen more than just one time. Come together more than just one time. Let's pack this park out again with people with the same mind, the same belief that we can bring about a change. Do you believe that? Do you really believe it? Shout with me, love, not hate. Love, not. Love, not hate.
Thank you, Jackie. We appreciate you coming out today. We do have one final speaker. It's going to be Terry with Sullivan County Democratic Party. Got a few announcements real quick.
Hey, everybody, please, another round of applause for Jackie, for Kate, for everybody that has spoken today. Y'all are fantastic for showing up. Now, here's the deal. Boots on the ground. We are here. We showed up. Now, what are you going to do? Sharon Brown was kind enough, she's shocked, she hates being called out, but she was kind enough to list an event, 2 protest events that are coming up at the Harshbarger office and at the Blackburn office on Tuesday, Thursday, March 18th and March 20th. So at these offices on, I'm sorry I'm reading, but office locations for Harshbarger in Kingsport on Revere Street, Tuesday, March 18th. Get your phones out. Put this on your calendar. There was a great event at the Harshbarger quote-unquote town hall that turned perfect because we voiced exactly what we felt about what she's doing. So we've got to turn this into action on the ground. Short term, long term. Short term is March 18th. Did I say that right? March 18th, which is a Tuesday, at the Harshbarger office, and then March 20th, which, 11:30 to 1, right. You got it. So, what are you going to do on Tuesday, March 18th at 11:30? Be at the Harshbarger office. What are you going to do on Thursday, March 20th at 11:30? Be at Marsha Blackburn's office in Johnson City. If you show up, more people will show up. The more people that show up, the more people are going to vote. So here's the long-term boots on the ground. Who is going to run for office? Sullivan County. So I'm a former chair of Sullivan County Democratic Party. Sullivan County Democratic Party and Bristol, Virginia Democrats are in the back right there. We need you on the ballot. This last election cycle, we had 2 very brave individuals that were on the ballot. 2 Democrats in all of Sullivan County stepped up and said, I'm a Democrat and I can help. They were Lori Love and they were Donna Coffey. So we need so many more people to do this in Sullivan County. Same thing for Bristol, Virginia. Y'all have got to start planning for these elections, and it doesn't happen overnight. We understand that. These individuals were not born politicians. They became politicians because they saw they could do something. If you're here, you feel you can do something. So let's go. There are people back there. Talk to Kate Craig. Talk to these individuals that can help you start planning how to do this. Anybody can do it. That's the point. Anybody can do this. You have an idea in your head. You feel like you can do better. Let's do better. So short term, show up at Harshbarger office and Blackburn office. Long term, please become a candidate. That's all I got for you. Thank you so much for coming out. Tommy, thank you for doing this.
Thank you, Terry. So for anyone who hasn't already, of course, feel free to check out the booths at the back. There is also an attendance log back there, so where we do have the event being filmed. If you want to receive a free copy of it, sign the attendance log so that way we can get that emailed out to you. But thank you everyone for coming out. Let's go out there, make our voices heard, and put boots on the ground. Thank you.